I know you guys started the band because you listened to Black Sabbath, and I mean you were influenced by them, and Typo Negative, Iggy and the Stooges, and these are all bands that people think of as kind of like a foundation of music and are very important to music. What do you think of the current state of the music industry? Do you listen to any current music? Or do you find...
well, I listen to a lot of current reggae. I'm a big reggae fan, so I don't know why. I used to have dreadlocks back in the day, and, you know, I was a street musician playing the bonos and, you know, when I was like 14. But, so I still listen to a lot of reggae, but, probably, you know, if you talk about current rock and roll, I'd be listening to Disturbed. I still don't have the new album, but, for some reason I never got them before, and all of a sudden, like, years after their first album was released, all of a sudden I heard a song in a bar or whatever, and it really struck a chord, and I fell in love with a couple of the tracks, and so I'm a late bloomer when it comes to rock and roll. So nowadays I never diss anything, because I usually used to diss everything when I heard something from the first album, like, that sucks. And nowadays I know better. It's usually in a couple of years I'll like something.
It'll grow on you, yeah.
That kind of stuff. I'm very indecisive when it comes to music, so it takes me a while to get into this thing. But they've been pretty good. Then I'll be listening to Hercules and the Love Affair. The guy from Anthony and Johnson, he's singing with that New York-based, like, Italian disco type of live band. That's really good.
That sounds really interesting.
I don't dance, but I like watching people dance. So
yeah.
So it fits me perfectly.
And it all has to do, I guess, with the mood you're in, you know. Maybe 2 weeks ago you wouldn't like the band, and if you're in the mood for it, maybe 3 weeks later it's like the best band ever. So.
Yeah, exactly, and, you know, just keep your ears and keep your eyes open.
Exactly.
It can change so very quickly. You meet somebody that you appreciate and you look up to, and that somebody might give you great lessons and you know, tips in life. So, you know, it's just, you can never say
Exactly. And I was going to ask you, in today's society, like especially in American society, a lot of things are considered to be a taboo. And you seem to have such an open mind to everything, but are there some ideas that you think are too touchy?
Let's talk about now. Maybe to write songs about it, something like that might be, but I don't know. What kind of taboos are you talking about?
Like anything. Like if you watch, you know, South Park, for instance, they touch on a lot of things that most American people would consider to be, you know, a little bit crossing the line, or, you know, just not, I guess, you know, correct. I don't know how I would...
They do cross the line.
Yeah.
I do watch Dsire, but, you know, there was a great episode about that it takes a certain amount of years to be able to laugh about a horrible thing that has happened. And I guess it had something to do with the Holocaust. Or maybe it had something to do with September 11th. But it was a funny episode how that's the strength of humankind, that we're able to laugh at even the most horrible
Exactly.
things, just to be able to cope.
Exactly. And that's what I was kind of... I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, your turn.
No, I was saying that's what I was kind of trying to say. I don't know, what's okay to laugh at, kind of, or should we talk about these things? Are those things okay for you?
Well, you know, let's say, you know, it's like, if you be wasting it's like cracking a fucking pedophile joke.
Yeah.
That's kind of like, you know, crossing the line for me. It's not a funny thing for somebody who's gone through it. You know, I haven't personally. I've been, you know, blessed. I haven't had any like sexual abuse happening to me in my youth. But hearing some stories and seeing some documentaries and stuff on the topic, and it fucks you up so deeply.
Yeah.
That at the end of the day, it's good to laugh about it as well. But then at the end of the day, at the same time, you should be having the respect and the sympathy and give all the possible, you know, at least verbal help you can if you meet somebody, because those things are really tough and they really do fuck you up.
Right.
And usually fuck you up for life, and people really have to struggle at times. And there's one same things, you know, with wars, same thing with the Hurricane Katrina, same thing with September 11th.
Right.
Those are the really big things that do leave marks and do leave a lot of people's, you know, do leave stigmas. So it's
Exactly. At the end of the day, you got to know what to take seriously and what's, easy.
No, yeah, well, and a good example when it comes to humor, it's like Dave Chappelle, for example.
Right.
Some of his stuff is absolutely crazy. And the ingenious thing with some of his stuff is that if you're a white man, you can't say this stuff, but you can still laugh with him.
Exactly.
And that's the beauty of the whole thing. There's such a twist, like the black-white supremacist.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first jokes he had on his first season. It's funny as hell. And when I saw it for the first time a couple of years back, I saw it in the tour bus. I couldn't believe the courage he had tackling all those things, with such twist that you really didn't know whether to cry or laugh.
I haven't seen that.
I shut my pants as well.
I have to go check that out, Jeff. And kind of change the subject again. You said that you kind of wake up with melodies in your head. Do you ever find it difficult to take what's playing in your head and just bring it to life and write it down?
Not really, but making them work and actually nurturing them as you would a flower or a plant. That's the tough part. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of ideas floating about, and a lot of ideas for videos, and a lot of ideas for all kinds of things. But I think that the perseverance is one of the most important things when it comes to being a musician. For example, you gotta try to be the best critic you can to your own stuff and be able to leave the bad things out and work on them and let the songs go. Some songs take more time, there's a song called Passion's Killing Floor on that latest album, Venus Doom, and that song took me about 10 years to finish. And
wow.
It takes 20 minutes to finish, and that's the beauty of music, since it's always so very different and it's very magical. At least to me, there are mathematics involved when it comes to music, but it's not purely mathematical, and that's why I call it magic.
Right, so that's crazy. So the song pretty much like you could have had it, maybe 4 years ago. It builds up and you kind of work at it for all these years and add things to it?
Well then you don't even add things, it feels like more like a subliminal prophecy.
Uh-huh.
You write about a thing and you're not really sure about it, and it doesn't feel right. But then after something, whatever it might have been, a relationship has happened, or you met somebody new, or you've seen a new scenery somewhere, or visited a new city, all of a sudden that experience can validate the song.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's funny, but it doesn't, at least for me, it happens, both ways.
Uh-huh.
So I don't have to experience something to write about a song, write songs. At times you just write a song and you actually experience it later.
So that's crazy. Kind of like...
It's not prophetical in a way, because you're not, in my songs at least, I'm not talking necessarily about specific events.
Right.
But I am talking about and thinking about specific emotions.
Mm-hmm.
At times there's just something missing. You just feel that there's something missing, you feel like there's a hole in your heart. And for some reason, maybe a couple of years later, you feel complete with the song. And that's a combination of various things. You are, as a musician or a songwriter, you are like a sponge. You suck in all the information and then you squirt it out at one point.
Yeah, and kind of store all these different facts and information, experiences in your head and, put it towards music. That's really cool.
And then it's like then computer language, you have to defragment your hard drive at times. You have a lot of